inwards. Trouble already. The wall. Slams to the outside. It's five-time champion Jimmy Johnson. He collects Danica Patrick and the 34 of David Reagan.
Trevor Bayne, the 21 car, a winner from last year. You see him involved?
Kurt Busch is involved.
I'm a little worried about Jimmy. He took a hard lick right in the door. And there's the HenryCar.com Chevrolet of Kurt Busch. He's got damage.
78 of Regan Smith.
Ooh, just got a little tap in the back end.
I believe that might have been Elliott Sadler in 33.
Elliott Sadler gave him just a little tap. Right here's what I was talking about. Watch Danica. Right there, she gets some damage, but then watch her go down. Jimmy's car's total, but watch her right here, right between those two cars.
13 laps to go.
Oh, trouble, big trouble.
Mid-pack. Sliding and spinning into the infield, McMurray. And sliding up the racetrack, one car going to coast to the bottom. That's Eric Almirola. Regan Smith was in it, and Casey Kane. The left side of his car torn up, and we're back under caution for
Regan
the ninth
Smith.
time at lap 188.
Almirola, the one car there, McMurray's the one I saw. Man, he was spinning around like a top. Got a little wobble.
I believe he blew a left rear tire. That thing started wiggling around, and as he came into the tri-oval, it spun out, and when it came to a stop, you can see the left rear tire is completely torn apart. So I think he had a cut tire, and the thing just got away from him.
Yeah, he was wobbling through the tri-oval there, and finally went around with him.
Another driver involved, Brad Keselowski, right there.
Wonder if Brad twittered that.
Right
Probably
there is McMurray.
Yeah, Keselowski and the two just drove underneath Casey Kane in the 5. Just nowhere to go.
Watch Tony Stewart there. He just worked his way right back. Keselowski missed that wreck by inches.
Harvick, Menard, Newman, and 14 Tony Stewart.
And there's Tony Stewart's teammate, Ryan Newman. Oh, Tony's going around. Another wreck to the tri-oval.
Kyle Busch, hard slide through the grass, no contact. At least half a dozen cars involved in this one. Dave Blaney drives away. That's Kyle Busch. Caution flag number 10 with 4 laps to go.
He gets a little push from behind, maybe from Joey Logano.
He and Stenhouse go around. Newman and Busch.
And Newman and Busch was actually in front of Tony a little bit when that started happening.
Have to take a couple more looks at that.
Kyle Busch went for a long wild ride. Blaney involved.
Let's see here. Here's 39 up here. Right there. Stenhouse got into the side, and Stenhouse in the 6 got into Tony.
I'm not sure, though, that David Gilliland didn't get into the back of Stenhouse and push him up into Tony.
Could have to look at it again.
That's about the second or third wreck we've seen on the exit of the tri-oval. It just starts narrowing up right there.
We got trouble, Larry. Coming to the tri-oval. A number of cars involved. Still spinning. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon on the grass, Regan Smith, Michael Waltrip back up through the groove, and there's Bill Elliott as well.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon and those guys were up in the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. So this thing, obviously, it may have started back a little bit, but it carried its way all the way to the front.
Jimmy Johnson completed 1 lap in the 500. And better in that category tonight, but similar situation to what we saw then.
Yeah, Jimmy got turned into the outside wall and hit. But you see him slowing down to come in pit road. Now he slows down.
Yeah, Johnson got tagged.
Is it Martin Truex Jr. maybe?
I couldn't tell, but he got tagged early though. I mean,
look at the 24 right here. The 24 is coming down pit road and gets wrecked. They run into him from the back right there, and you see these guys already on pit road. So it's really going to be interesting to see when the light comes on.
Watch how hard Jimmy Johnson hits this inside wall. I'm telling you what, those soft walls or whatever you want to call them, those things are incredible.
And we've not always had safer barrier on the inside.
I've hit walls on the inside when they weren't there. I'll tell you what, it's a shot.
Watch his tires. Wow,
When it
that's a
picks up
shot.
the rear wheels off the ground, that's a hit. It's gonna be over.
That was a good move by Tony.
Wow, who was that?
Denny Hamlin out of shape. Here's the big one. A number of drivers involved as they come down toward turn one.
Oh, wow, that was a ton.
This is big.
Man, was that Ambrose? Somebody hit a ton up there.
That was big. Biffle got hit a little bit and got sent back across the racetrack into the 11 car, I think is what we'll see.
Did he get tapped by the 5?
It was close.
It's hard to say from that angle. It almost looks like he gets the 9. Look at the 9 car go back up the racetrack. Oh,
Yeah,
that was
David
a hard
Gilliland,
side impact.
Dave Blaney, Martin Truex Jr. Saw Hamlin was involved. The damage for Kyle Busch, Juan Pablo Montoya.
And that's one thing, too, when these cars don't change direction very good. I think he went to turn to the left. It almost looked like Biffle maybe went down a little bit. But regardless, when you turn these cars as hard like that to avoid something, it's hard to keep them straight.
Yeah, it almost looked like I couldn't tell where the 5 car was, but it's like Denny came down across the hood, and the 11 and the 18 really looked like they got together more so than the 5 car involved. That 9 car took a tough hit, and all these guys had no place to go because they're going. Some cars are going up the racetrack wrecking, some cars are coming down. Look,
right there.
This is going to be. This
Oh,
is
they're
where it's gonna
stacking
get
up. They're
exciting.
stacking up.
Through turns 3 and 4
here we go.
for the final time. Big crash behind the race leader, Tony Stewart. That's going to allow smoke to pull away. What's going to happen behind him? Can Burton get there? No, he can't. Tony Stewart wins it at Daytona.
Great finish.
From 42nd to the win.
Great move by Jeff Burton right there. I tell you,
That
Jeff,
was a
great
incredible
race by
save.
Jeff Burton. I'm telling you, incredible save, an incredible job to put him in position. And you know, Matt's just where he's got to be. But Casey Kane deserves a lot of credit for that too, pushing that 14 and getting him in the right position.
Johnson first, Kenseth second with a push from Gordon. Oh, Kane! Kane gets around, slides across the track. Dillon misses him. More carnage down toward turn number 1. Montoya, Harvick.
A real low apron.
All with damage as the caution comes out. Well, Keelan Harvick is not Dad's good luck charm today.
Yeah, the 18 just got down on that inside, caught the left rear corner of the 5 car. That's a real vulnerable spot, and gave him a little tap and sent him sailing.
What a close call for Joey Logano on that 22. He was all the way down in the grass and dodged it.
Yeah, these guys on further down the track, they really got in it afterwards when people were slowing down.
Kane sideways, comes across the nose of Montoya. Logano misses him.
And Darrell, that was coming out of that trial where you're running so fast with very little banking to hold you.
Somebody got into the back of Kevin Harvick's number 29, sending him down and then up into Stewart.
Yeah, those 6 Toyota drivers, remember, they were some of the
trouble
first.
turn 1, guys.
1 car down, spinning. Trevor Bayne up to the wall, collects another. That is Carl Edwards. The 5th wreck that Edwards has been involved in this spring. The 34 of David Reagan involved, and that's the 35 of Riverside, California's Josh Wise. We're under caution for the 4th time today.
Something happened to a car going into turn 1, as if it just, I don't know who it was, you'll have to take a look at it, but they lost it going into turn 1.
See Austin Dillon there in the 33, damage to the front end. Trevor Bayne, we mentioned him in the 21. Terry Labonte in the 32 car as well.
Josh Wise all torn up, and his teammate at Front Row Motorsports, David Reagan and David Gilliland. My goodness, all 3 of the front row cars of Bob Jenkins taken out in this pileup.
Let's see what happens here. I looked up, I saw a car spinning, and I couldn't tell why.
27's the first car out of line in front of you. Up. Hold it, hold, no caution. Caution is out. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Here's Brad Keselowski on the outside of Carl Edwards. Rudeman just ahead.
See what happens here. I just looked up, I guess it was the 2 car I saw going, looked like he was down on the apron sideways.
Ooh, looked like possibly.
But it looked like they started accordioning up in front of Brad Keselowski.
Very similar to what we saw at the start of the race, Larry. Just somebody slowed up a little bit, and it caused that accordion effect.
For him, Kyle Busch, 29 circuits in the lead. But he may have company soon.
Smoke.
Big crash.
Well,
Fourth caution of the night, Eric Almirola with damage. That's David Strimmy going down low through the grass. Seems to be the trouble spot over there, coming back to the tri-oval.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. They were getting a little racy up front, as we saw the 20 car of Matt Kenseth had begun to gain on that outside line and brought it back and was up about 5th or 6th in that outside line. These guys were well back behind them.
Man, looks like Strimmy was trying to get to the bottom and Ambrose was there.
Yeah. And the wreck happened. There was 2 wrecks, as you see it. You saw Strimmy and Ambrose up ahead, and then you saw the one car. And I don't really recognize which one it is, but you see Strimmy and Ambrose. They get together right here. These 2 cars, and you see the 51 car. I don't know if he gets hit from the behind.
I don't think he got hit.
Or if he just jumped on the brakes and the thing turned around on him, and he gets down into the 43 of Eric Almirola.
Is on 10 to go. He finds himself in position to strike. Marty?
Well, that's because he's been in the back of the pack on purpose, Adam. Crash on the track, Adam.
Just Jimmy Hamlin got airborne. A.J. Allmendinger, Jeff Gordon, David Rudiman, Matt Kenseth all involved.
The 11 car's in there too. You know, we're just talking about how he had just come back, and they just keep beating this guy down, man.
That was 2 big hits, really. I mean, that second hit, when you get run into like that, that is hard.
And he took a hard hit last week.
Yeah. Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth led the most laps here in February.
Window net's down, which is a good sign.
Ooh, 24 in it.
Yeah.
Wow. Gordon had been running great.
All these guys were right there in that second pack that had just been separated, and Junior was about the cutoff. You see AJ down on the ground here. Obviously, he's took a little bit of a hard hit, knocked the breath out of him. But they were just behind that pack where Junior and those guys had separated, because that's where Denny was. He had just driven up to the back bumper of Junior right along there.
Sometimes TV just doesn't do the justice of how hard these cars are hitting the wall. You know, we've talked about how great the improvements on the walls and things have been, but guys are still going 200 miles per hour when they're, knocking the walls down.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a soft wall, even though that's what we call them, and that's what we talk about them as. They soften the blow, but there is no such thing as a soft wall. You see Denny down on the inside right there. That thing just turns right.
Yeah.
It's like
that was
something
strange.
That was really strange.
Wow. Kenseth did a great job not running into the door of the 11, but then the 51, just nowhere to go.
But for Hamlin, he goes nose first into the wall. Very similar to how he hit the wall in California when he suffered that compression fracture.
Yeah, but
a different angle.
But watch this right here. Here he is. The 2 cars, they're spacing behind him. The 2 cars behind him. He goes there. Wow. I don't know if the 2 car got into the back of him and sent him to the inside and he overcorrected.
It almost looked like the car in front of him slowed down.
Good point.
And he turned to the left, and that's when it spun him around.
But then, and then obviously everybody's trying to avoid him.
Yeah. Yeah, watch Boyer. You get the 11. It looks like these guys get, he just dove down.
Wow.
And then corrected maybe. That's really a strange act. Man, Matt did a good job not hitting that car, but then he got clobbered.
see Blaney in that. And Blaney had a good run. Those guys had run in the top 10 or 15 a lot tonight.
Side lane with help from David Gilliland.
Oh, here we go.
We got trouble.
There we go. That's it.
Like I said, you lead at the white.
That's it.
You're good to go. But they may race to the finish.
They're going to let them race back here. That happened over in turn 2, so they got plenty of room.
Right. Let them race, boys.
Hopefully they're cleared when they get back down there.
Tony Stewart won this race last year. He's won it 4 times.
Shoving the 14. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but
through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Off the corner, here comes Jimmy Johnson. He's dominated the race. Now he can see the finish line. That's Busch in the outside lane, not making a move.
Oh,
trouble behind him.
Danica.
Danica and others. Jimmy Johnson gets the win at Daytona.
Yeah, she got turned right there.
that was a dominating performance by the 48 team tonight.
Led 93 laps.
Thank you. Awesome.
Let's go back to that final lap. Jimmy Johnson leading, and look behind him. This the first wreck after the white flag.
Yeah. Carl just gets, just as we saw the 5 car of Kane get slammed and sent to the inside, Carl got slammed going the other way and got slammed into the outside wall. No caution after this. You see Carl right there.
Yeah, it looks
as
like
the 13 car moves up on him and sends him around.
Yeah.
Scott Speed, Bobby Labonte out there. Joe Nemechek nowhere to go. Like David Reagan, barely able to sneak by. And because all of this happened well behind the leaders, and it was over in turn 2, NASCAR said let.
And Danica gets just tangled up with the 38 car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, like you said, once that starts happening.
Ryan Newman nowhere to go. You see the damage for Jeff Burton. J.J. Yaley involved in an accident.
Yeah,
it's just, I can't tell what happened. You know, David Gilliland was right there in the middle, like there's nowhere he could really go. But
man, Kyle Busch took a hard hit up into the 13 car.
Newman gets clobbered by Burton.
Yeah, and at that point in time, Danica gets turned down across the racetrack, and as she's coming down, she clips a car. You see her come down across the racetrack right here, across the hood of Ricky Stenhouse, turn the 18. Watch the 18 turn right here and go straight back up the racetrack, and you can't see it, but just pins a 13 on the wall right here.
But that
tough hits right
here in Daytona.
Is going to crash big.
Crash out of turn number 4. A multi-car pileup. Eric Almirola, his car all torn up. That is Michael Walter, who will not win his 3rd Daytona 500. David Gilliland's car is crashed. Almirola's gone straight to the garage with his number 43. Gilliland stuck in the mud, and Danica Patrick.
And Mike, Danica, she pounded that outside wall head on first.
Let's watch the action coming out of turn number 4. And let's have a look for Eric Almirola on the right side in the 43.
It looked like the 33 car of Brian Scott, something. And watch Danica right there. Man, that was a lick.
Thanks, Krista Daler.
Whoa, here we go.
Big crash again, turn 4. It's Calamity Corner. There's rookie Reed Sorensen sliding down off the banking. Big damage to the Ford of Marcus Ambrose, number 9. And caution waves with 38 laps to go.
Marcus Ambrose with a bunch of damage there. The 7 car. Something seemed, somebody broke loose in the pack. I couldn't tell if there was contact.
Rookie Michael Annette, heavy damage on his pilot Chevy. Marcus Ambrose. And let's have a look. Watch the 3 of our pole sitter Austin Dillon. Under caution in the Daytona 500.
Every bit of the skill they have, they're trying to. Oh, got another car.
Up goes Ryan Newman. Justin Allgaier, Brian Scott, Terry Labonte, Cole Witt.
Right at the back of the field.
Unless they can get this cleaned up in a hurry, this is not going to be good for those drivers up front that are very marginal on fuel.
Parker Kligerman involved as well. Both the Swan Racing cars torn up in this one.
Well, they did that earlier in the week, and they were just lucky to piece everything together to make this Daytona 500. And now they've got a couple of more torn up cars. What a bad bunch of luck for them.
6th caution flag with 6 laps to go. And Terry Labonte's dreams of winning the Daytona 500.
It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence, Mike and Larry, that you get down to the end of the race, we have these kind of things happen. I mean, like I said, you just can't give anymore. Well, it looks like the 3 car of Austin Dillon got into the back of the 31, gave him a shove, and it got him loose.
And I think Ryan Newman in the 31, Darrell, was checking up for something in front of him.
Plus, it just as he was about to turn off in the corner as well.
He got a little bump.
Here's another look. Watch the cat Chevy of Newman, 31.
Man, it just, that little bump, and it turned him. It's just in that vulnerable spot going into that corner. The car's a little free right there. Is off turn 4 to the start finish line, but that 88 is pulling away.
Less than a mile to go.
Oh, we got a wreck.
3rd generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
Oh yeah! Good job, Junebug. Woo!
Reed Sorensen's race ends up in a crash. Harvick into the wall past the end of pit road, and Carl Edwards 99 all torn up. Here comes Kyle Busch backwards across the start finish line.
Backed-er across.
20 today.
Rickett behind you here, Rickett.
And now we have a crash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved. Tony Stewart around. And that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. through the infield grass. Carl Edwards has some damage.
Kenseth just about had it missed, and looks like he ran into the 88.
Harvick,
wow,
Johnson,
a lot of good
Kyle
race
Larson.
cars. I mean, a lot of good race cars. Guys in the points.
Wow.
3 consecutive top 5 finishes at Daytona. The 6-time champion Jimmy Johnson has damage here.
Marcus Ambrose spun, obviously drove through the grass over to the pit road.
Well, the grass is not the place you want to be today after all the rain that we've had.
Carl Edwards. Wow.
At least 11 cars involved in our first big accident of the day here at Daytona.
We're seeing it for the first time. Looks like Stenhouse got a little bit squirrely. Stewart came up and got into Jeff Gordon there. Looks like Stewart was just trying to avoid the 17.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from that angle, but it looks like Stenhouse, as he gets squirrely, comes down into Tony a little bit. You see Stenhouse up next to the wall, sideways, comes down across, taps Stewart. Oh.
Yeah, no, Jeff was trying to avoid this 17 car and got into Tony Stewart.
Yeah, got in the right rear of Tony. Yeah.
Trevor Bayne, who won the 2011 Daytona 500, driving for the Wood Brothers, and that 21 car got turned around. Outside lane, hanging tough here on the restart.
Oh, here we go.
Got trouble. That's Casey Kane that goes sideways. Joey Logano nowhere to go.
Oh, my. Half the field is gone.
The big one at Daytona has happened at lap 97.
That is the huge one at Daytona.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, the 18 gets on its roof.
And Kyle Busch rolls upside down.
Wow.
See the 26 car of Cole Witt, the 38 of David Gilliland.
Just having a good old time over here. Just hanging around. Okay. Just stay buckled up. Let them get you flipped over here.
That's Kyle Busch. Yeah, there goes our antenna on the onboard of the 18. Kyle Busch. And that was I think the slowest rollover
and the latest
I've ever seen.
It was almost like a delayed reaction to the crash. Saw rookie Ryan Truex backing through your picture. He had damage. Safety crews are there.
And let me tell you, that, you know, when you're upside down in one of these cars, Kyle, because you're so buckled in. Let's take a replay here. It looks like the 16 got into the 5 a little bit too hard and just turned him. And man, talk about getting piled up.
Watch the 3 car when we get another replay of Austin Dillon come shooting up through the middle and trying to avoid the accident.
26 of Cole Witt just got into the 18 to turn him over.
And watch Danica in this outside line right here. She and the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Wow, that 1 car's up in the air right there.
All 4 tires were off the ground.
He just launched.
That was perfect. I mean, she just slowed it down enough to let everything clean off in front of her. As Brad.
They pushed in a spring rubber as well as a chassis adjustment, just trying to tighten up that too.
From 33rd up into the top 20 since the restart. Stewart in the wall. And now Matt Kenseth got bounced into the wall. Everybody scatters. Yellow flag.
Stewart has a lot of damage, and so does the 20 car. A lot of damage on the right front of the 14 car, Tony Stewart, you can see there. 2 of the big favorites to win the Daytona 500. The Chevy of Tony Stewart, the Toyota of Matt Kenseth. Come to grief here between turn 4 and the tri-oval at lap 41. Kenseth is a little less, maybe a little more cosmetic. You can see some smoke off the right front, but Tony's has got some chassis suspension damage. See how this started, Darrell. And where Stewart's down here on the bottom behind the 22 car, Joey Logano coming up. Look like that thing that we've seen. Oh gosh, he got right over into the 21 car. One of the things we've seen is when a car gets to the left corner of your car, it loosens you up so badly. That's what it looked like. Hamlin got that nose up there, shot him up the track. Now Stewart was 6th down here at the bottom of the racetrack. Yeah, you see Hamlin behind him in the 11. Now watch when Hamlin gets right to that left rear quarter panel. It turns your car. It makes your car get loose. And Tony tried to correct. Ryan Blaney was there. Michael ran into back of the 20. Michael walked into 55, ran in the back of the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Just a bottleneck change. Big cluster coming off turn number 4. Smoke, trouble way in the back, but here come the leaders. The question is, are they going to throw the yellow, or are they going to let them race back? 7, 8 car pile up in the back straightaway. Caution is out. Joey Logano.
Keep coming. Just stay on the gas. Back straightaway. Stay on the gas. Coming to easy here. They say roll out of the throttle.
It's over, boys. It's over.
Middletown, Connecticut's Joey Logano wins the Daytona 500.
Daytona 500, guys!
As we go off, that's in 1 and 2. Start off in the back straightaway over here. Let's see what happens.
4 wide. And Austin Dillon tips Jeff Gordon.
Yep.
And it's on.
Right in that spot where it didn't take much.
And as they kept wrecking and more cars kept coming into the crash scene, NASCAR had to throw the caution.
And around they go. The 38 goes sideways. David Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano. The 32. Multiple cars involved in this one. Joey Logano damage to the right rear. The 26 of Jeff Burton involved. So the 38 of Gilliland. The 10 of Danica Patrick. Looks like she has damage to the right side.
Just catching the field out of 2.
Trying to change lanes. There isn't room. He comes across the front bumper of the 15, spins him to the bottom, and it's the field very tight. You see farther back into the field, the 16 and the 10 get into the back, and the 22 spinners up across the track. And that's what happens in these tight packs. When there's a spin way up in front of the pack, everyone gets out of the gas, and it's so hard when you're only a couple feet apart. Another hard impact there with the 32 and the 38. when you're that close, you don't have enough room. If you don't slow down the exact same rate, someone gets spun out.
And you see right here, David, he's wanting to be on the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to get behind the 88 because he thinks that's the best line, but he just doesn't have it synced up. He did not get a good view of the 15, turned down on the 15s. Nothing Clint Boyer could do right there. All he could do is get into him, and then everything behind him was just as a result of trying to miss this wreck.
There you heard him. He thought he was in the back of the pack and out of the possibility of danger. Take a look at what happens. The 42 of Kyle Larson completely sideways.
He gets down to the apron. You see the sparks where the track bar mount hits the ground. He saves it, but he comes up the track, has no choice but to connect with the 19, who then starts to spin. Brad Keselowski gets a face full of sparks. The 17 does go around, and now the track is blocked. Now these guys are trying to find a hole through, and the 2 gets woed up, and the 3 kind of gets woed up, but then you see Carl Evans goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam, makes big contact with the back of the 19.
Yeah, Brian Scott looked like he was going to be able to get through this clean. He was accelerating to try to get by the cars, but then up came Carl Edwards from the bottom of the track.
There's nothing you can do in that situation. You know, he just was coming at such a high rate of speed. Really nothing Brian Scott could have done.
Let's ride along with Carl. This will be a wild ride, too.
You see Carl, he's watching, going around a lap car right here. You see Larson just gets loose, car goes around, tries to shoot the middle, just didn't clear him.
Already, we have a new leader out front of the field. You can follow Miss Sprint Cup as the big one's happening once again, coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways. Martin Truex Jr., a lot of damage to the front end of his car. Eric Almirola also involved. There's Kyle Larson. Damage to the front end. Once again, coming out of turn number 4, a tricky spot on this track. Casey Kane, who was running up front all day, a lot of damage to the right front. Eric Almirola, already in the garage. The Smithfield Ford had been running well. And now in the garage, Kyle Larson will have to make his way into the garage as well. This is why.
We've seen this time and time again. The 20 tries to come down on the 5. I don't know if he actually makes contact with the 5 or just the air gets him loose. Man, and then it's just a mess, right? When you have trouble in front of that many cars, there's just nowhere to go. You see the 9 spinning, trying to avoid it. Once the smoke is that thick, there's just nowhere to go.
All these cars behind them right now, they're just trying to find somewhere to go, but there just never is. You just keep piling in. You're on the brakes. The guys behind you are running into you. You know, it's just a big. This is plate racing. This is what we talk about. This is what the drivers fear.
Hart Jr. to the bottom of the track. Jr. will win at Daytona, and the big one happens behind them.
Oh my God.
Austin Dillon into the catch fence. All the crews getting out to that car to assist these drivers. Thumbs going up from all the crew members, and the crowd roars. Look at the catch fence on the front straight. Let's take another look. Dale Earnhardt Jr. crossing the start-finish line, winning the race, but then the accident takes place behind him.
Yeah, the 11 gets kind of stuck in the middle there and comes across the Ford's bumper. As he does, he spins back in, gets the 3 airborne, and he just gets projected off the other cars right up into the fence.
He went from the bottom of the racetrack over 2 rows of cars and into that catch fence.
Here we go. You can see him on the bottom. Rex starts in front. He runs in the back of the 24, gets up on the 11. Now he's on top of the 55. Now it's just along for the ride. Watch the car stop. Watch the car stop. It gets into those poles, and it goes from, I don't know what, 180, 190 miles an hour, I'm just guessing, to a complete stop. That is unbelievable.
And it looks like a tour. That's 3,500 pounds. That stock car is extremely heavy. You see here, after he's upside down, the 2 is spinning. Obviously, he's already lost control, makes more contact with the 3.
Avoided the scare they had earlier with the water temperatures. The debris is completely removed. We've talked about Brian Keselowski being proficient at restrictor plate racing. 4 wins, and we've got trouble behind him, Rick.
Around they go.
Yeah, stay down, go up, go up, go up, go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him. May have been the one of Jamie McMurray. It was a light blue car. Chase Elliott. That Sun Energy 1 caught up the window net down for him. Paul Menard in the 27. Jamie McMurray trying to get it going the right direction. Kevin Harvick is involved. The 44 of Brian Scott. And already we're seeing Chase Elliott climb out of that car. The big one happening. So close. Running McMurray in the 1.
See McMurray and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy comes up, and then McMurray actually comes down and gets onto the left front. It's on from there. I mean, we talked about it earlier. As soon as somebody makes a mistake and you're in this big pack of cars, you're going to take a lot of people with you. It's just how it happens. Some of these cars riding around the back actually got in the wreck as well. So one mistake by a driver, or a mistake by 2 drivers, and this is what happens. It's not just those 2.
And a bump there by the 48. Back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher, 23-year-old out of Prosper, Texas, was involved. In the most recent caution. 4 cautions tonight. They did not need this as they were fighting for points. Just got loose, collected the 13 and the 19 with damage.
Yeah, I feel like he had to cut a tire, had to run over something as quickly as that car came around. There was some sort of a problem. Yeah, he had a tire go down, I'm sure. Probably ran over something. And the 13 car, Casey Mears, having a great night with a chance to win, gets into it.
Maybe not a lot of damage on the 13 or the 19, but plenty of
stops.
Whoa, Kyle Busch is around. Big wreck.
Wow. There's
Dale Jr. got involved.
Oh, Jr.'s in it, and Matt Kent's is.
And Ty Dillon and Eric Jones are all piled up in turn 3.
What the heck happened?
The 18 just turned around. I don't know if he got himself in a unique position, or the car got loose right there going in the corner, or he had a tire going down, but it just turned around in front of everybody.
A lot of damage to the 88 car, right?
And that Toyota plan of drafting together appears to have come undone.
We got to see that again, because I don't know. What happened to that 18 car? I'm like you, Jeff. I just saw him start to get sideways.
Kyle Busch, one of the favorites for the 500. And now Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on the 5-minute crash damage clock. Remember, if you can drive it back to pit road, you can try to repair it.
All right, let's see what we got.
There's Kyle Busch.
All by himself.
Boy.
Oh, it just turned. I mean, that has to be a tire. There's no way that car just jumped around like that without something happening to it. I mean, he just lost. That thing just went sideways.
They were working their way through some slower traffic right here. I can't imagine that there was an aero situation there, but
something cut that tire.
Definitely turned around.
Did he make contact with that car he was passing?
It's a good question.
I didn't see any, but we can look at it again. A little dicey down the back straightaway. Cars get a little bit loose and crazy as they get the end of the back straightaway.
I mean, do they think it's 10 to go?
Trouble. Here we go. Here we go.
Jimmy Johnson got turned, and they pile up behind him.
14, 48. I mean, the whole crowd. There's a 10.
Wow.
Lord have mercy. There you go.
5th caution flag of the day. 7-time series champ Johnson. Clint Boyer is in it. There's Jimmy's Chevrolet all torn up, and he's climbing out.
Oh, they got 4 wide. What happened
Yeah.
was the 1 car, he snuck to the outside of the 48 getting into turn 3, and the 6 tried to go to the inside. Just not enough room to make it 4 wide right there.
And Mike, I know you won't. The cars are the most difficult to hang on to at the end of that back straightaway. They're light right there. Any touch, any move can spin you out.
I got you. I've not only seen this, I've been a part of this. Jamie McMurray pulls this move a lot. He sticks his nose just right there on your right rear quarter panel, nudges his way in there, and makes some great moves, but it is very aggressive.
Side. On the inside, excuse me, that's game.
Oh,
big trouble.
But they wrecked. Did they not wreck?
No, they're wrecking. They're wrecking.
Suarez to the inside along with Newman. Cars piling up to the outside and all the way across the track.
Was that?
They're still wrecking.
Oh, McMurray's involved. It almost looked like the rear bumper of possibly Chase Elliott got turned into somebody. But
Ty
kept
Dillon
going straight.
What a mess. Good grief.
Landon Castle. Brad Keselowski.
Yeah,
Daniel Suarez.
Brad's car was untouched, I thought, the last time I looked, at least the right side, but boy, now he's got heavy damage.
Yeah, 42 went by, he's got damage. Michael went by, and my brother, he got damage. Everybody goes by has got damage of some
Elliott
nature.
on pit road. Pretty sure this started with Chase Elliott. It looked like he just got sideways somehow in the back straightaway.
Here's Ryan Newman coming to pit road.
All right, let's see what
one of the cars we'll keep an eye on.
That's the one right there.
Jamie McMurray.
And the 24 in front of him.
Oh, he tries to go to the inside, make it 3 wide.
Yeah.
Gets to the left rear bumper of the 24 of Chase Elliott, turns him down into, I think that's Michael McDowell, and that just starts a chain reaction. Boy, McMurray's just super aggressive. I don't think those Hendrick teammates are going to be real happy with him.
Wow.
Oh, goodness. This is amazing.
Right.
This is amazing.
McMurray into the back of, Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
So
McMurray's going to try to go 3 wide, and there isn't any room.
Guys, one of the things that happens when you're pushing somebody, you're in control of their car. And what that does is create an opportunity for you to jump inside or outside of them. And it works sometimes, but man, is it risky. You never know if you're going to be able to get inside or if they're going to block you. And that's exactly what happened. He kind of got Chase a little bit out of shape. He went to go inside there, and Chase, I don't think he had anything he could do. It just almost turned him.
Well, when the
cars come shooting across to the inside of the track, watch this 31 of Newman do a whole lot of agricultural racing right here. Wow.
And the big one happens at Daytona. Kyle Busch goes around in front of 3 or 4 other cars, collecting them, and the caution comes out again.
We are closing into the end of this stage, just inside 10 to go. The momentum was kind of building. Everybody was trying to work their way to the front. You see Martin Truex Jr. leaving the scene. Heavy, heavy damage on the 78. Though 18 was the first car around for sure, Rick.
Austin Dillon caught up in it. He can't even see over the hood. It has collapsed up to the windshield. Martin Truex Jr. damage. Again, the new rule. You cannot add any body parts to the car on pit road. Take a look at what happened.
Follow along Kyle Busch. Little wiggle right there. I think he had a problem. That thing just turned around on him right in front of the field. So look at all the big impacts, all the smoke. I didn't see any contact before he went around. I saw him wiggle, and then the car turned around sideways.
Well, in front of the field was the key. This is the fear when it comes to Daytona. The accident in the middle of the pack. You have to be committed. You have to be wide open. Look how fast that happened. Joey Logano, a hard impact into Kyle Busch. You see the 42 of Kyle Larson, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr.
He was
many cars damaged.
He was times where he just goes to the top and everybody follows.
Oh, around goes the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Harvick spins around. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is involved. Brad Keselowski involved. Smoke coming out of the 32 of Matt DiBenedetto.
I blew a tire, I'm fine.
Blew a tire. That's what it looked like. The 4 just snap spun like a tire went down right in the middle of traffic. You see the 88 bouncing along the backstretch wall. That tells me that something's probably broken in the front suspension.
Take another look.
About 190 mile an hour. See the 4-car wiggle, turns around quickly right in front of her. No, nothing anybody can do. All the smoke, can't see. Just hope you get through it.
I'm amazed more cars aren't in an accident like that, Rick. As tidily as their bunch going through the corner. Right here, you're on board with Kevin Harvick, middle of the corner, wide open.
88's going with you. Hey, easy here. Blew a tire or something. Hold your brake.
Just a snap spin, and then the reaction behind him. And even the spotter in an accident, calm as could be on the radio.
Calm as he could be. 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Look at the hands on AJ Allmendinger. Up in the air goes the 42 of Kyle Larson. Caution comes out. And another contact. Matt Kenseth hits. The 1 of Jamie McMurray flying down pit road. Kyle Larson up in the air, right in front of the grandstands. See him removing the steering wheel. A lot of damage to Kurt Busch's 41.
We're done.
Big disappointment. Daytona 500 winner, hoping to come back and defend.
Take a look. This is what happened to the 42.
Wow. How did he get back on the ground without flipping?
See right here, he gets down low. The 17 of Ricky Stenhouse tries to fill the upper lane. The 42 tries to block. And as you said, the 42 was destined to go airborne. The roof flaps deployed, setting the 42 back on the ground. And as that happened, the 41 of Kurt Busch crossed the tri-oval, took a hard hit. This is another great action shot right here. Watch this 42. Hits the wall, then gets pushed into the air by the 17. You see the roof flap open. The car sets back on the ground.
See 21 of Blaney, he's in the brakes, just nothing you can do. Remember, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane had got shuffled back. They got behind this wreck. Matt Kenseth did not get through it. Casey Kane did.
Stage points.
19 stage wins he had last year.
NASCAR is still reviewing the number 22 of Logano to see if he will be penalized. Look at this! Oh, Stenhouse! He saved it!
No, Eric Jones is not going to be able to save it.
Jones did not.
Come on.
Jones, his teammate Suarez, William Byron, Jimmy Johnson are all in it along with Ty Dillon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trevor
goodness.
Bayne was able to weave his way through there.
Caution and the green and white checkered flag to end stage 1 with Kurt Busch the stage winner, Alex Bowman in second, Ricky Stenhouse third.
It's too early for those types of aggressive moves. You don't need to do. I know stage points are important, but the Daytona 500 is the most important thing.
Big picture. What's wrong with these people? Can they think big picture?
Daniel Suarez, all torn up. Trying to be the first non-American born 500 winner since Mario Andretti in '67.
Jimmy
Johnson.
Johnson.
It won't happen today.
Jimmy Johnson might get his third race.
He's not running a race without damaging the car this week.
Half of Team Hendrick and half of Joe Gibbs Racing taken out in that crash.
Oh, well.
There is Eric Jones, last year's Rookie of the Year. Such high hopes for him today. The blimp is a great view to sort out what happened here. 3 wide. Look at the orange number 19 and the 88.
So the 12 of Blaney goes try to make a move on the 17 of Stenhouse. He blocks it. They make contact. Great save by Stenhouse, but so much momentum coming with the 20 of Eric Jones. When he gets into the back of the 17 of Stenhouse, his car starts going around on him.
What a shame. What a shame.
Big push coming from Elliott and Keselowski. Contact! Elliott slam into the wall.
Are you kidding me?
Danica Patrick, Casey Kane.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
Took the wind out of Chase Elliott.
Yeah, that was
Elliott, Kane, here's
violent.
Danica Patrick and Kevin Harvick.
Man, Mike,
all
these
this
guys,
blocking going on.
Well, it's at the end of these stages, and everybody, I mean, it's like all of a sudden everybody says, I want to win a stage.
And Keselowski, the pre-race favorite, has the right front torn off of his car, as does David Reagan. Chase Elliott climbs out. Part of running in the draft is having that big push from behind. Sometimes push comes to shove.
So watch how all this materializes. That's turns 1 and 2. You can see some shuffling already going on between Chase Elliott and the block from Ryan Blaney. Now here comes a big run. The 2's going to get to the rear bumper. He's being pushed by Truex. He gets to the rear bumper of the 9 of Chase Elliott. Last second, from at least from that big hit. Yeah. And you see Keselowski got down on the apron. It turned him around.
Top's covered.
So it looked like the 9 went to block the 2 because he was going to make a move.
Low, slow, go high, go high, go high, go high.
Incredible, these runs that come so fast. You cannot protect against that run.
Oh, Kurt Busch around off the bumper of Blaney.
Inside, call left or inside, you should be the leader.
Looks like
Truex not able to avoid this one. Or Bowman.
Oh, Bowman's got it. Benedetto, Stenhouse, a bunch of them.
Di Benedetto all torn up.
I mean, we keep seeing these big runs coming, and with so much momentum, it's so hard to block that, but that's what you have to do to keep the lead if you're going to win this race.
Kurt Busch turned around, looking for the white flag.
Hamlin put a block on the 41.
Yeah, that stalled out the 41. The 12's right in that area, that left rear that turns him around.
Yep.
And it was Alex half the field.
It was on from there.
It has become the war of attrition 500.
As soon as Blaney poked his nose to the left quarter panel, that 41, around it went, just like we've seen all week.
Yep.
In the middle now, just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has damage. Daniel Suarez trying to avoid. Ty Dillon sliding in. A wrecked 22 of Joey Logano sitting on the apron. A wrecked 2.
All the Penske cars right there. The one organization that everybody came here thinking they had the best shot to win, all 3 of their cars wiped out in this accident.
Ryan Blaney in the 12 sitting there in the grass. You saw the 2 of Brad Keselowski. A lot of damage to the 9 of Chase Elliott.
So many good cars. This wreck happened in the front of the field.
This is what Daytona's all about. Take out some contenders, and now this really is an opportunity race for somebody sitting out at 16, sitting out at top 16.
Denny Hamlin with big damage. Another fast car.
A big push we saw out of the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Was it too big of a push?
Well, let's take a look at the replay. Let's take a look at the replay from the 9 car first.
See all the damage to Chase Elliott.
We're getting pretty aggressive here, and Ricky was pushing him and also turning down the racetrack, and that was enough to turn the 2 car around. There's just so much happening right there, and they were coming up on Williams so fast that I believe Brad was sort of throttling down a little bit because he was going to run to the back of the 24, because you see the 24 blocking here. So Brad's probably throttling down a little bit. and Stenhouse coming across the nose.
Yeah, so right here, the 17. Watch the 17 when he gets into the rear bumper. Right there, hits him in the right rear, and that's what sends him. We talked about that earlier. That's where you want to bump draft somebody. You want to bump them in the right rear. But when you do that and the speed's wrong and it's misaligned and also he's turning left, then that literally just shoves the left rear bumper to the inside of the car and it shoots the nose straight to the wall.
Too late. 18's on his quarter panel. He's going to side draft him right here in 3 and 4. Oh my goodness.
Sideways the 18, hard into the wall. Around goes the 24 as well. William Byron sliding all the way to the inside wall. Jamie McMurray caught up as well. Kyle Larson avoiding the 18. He went way down on the apron.
Guys, I'm afraid to say it, but I think Stenhouse was involved in this one as well.
I do too.
Can't wait to see the replay so we can really dissect how this all started. I did not see these guys having an accident right there.
Denny Hamlin, before this race started yesterday, he said he expected to see a wreck fest. Well, Denny Hamlin, you were right.
As Denny is probably sitting in his bus right now watching this race.
I mean, this is crazy. We're not halfway.
And the very charismatic winner from a week ago at Chicagoland Speedway, Kyle Busch, walking away from his destroyed 18. He hit the wall hard. He comes over to talk with William Byron.
Just checking on him. Take a look at the roof cam of the 17. So he gets into the quarter panel 18. 18's trying to get down there and side draft, and the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse is not following the 24, not following his line exactly. He's also trying to side draft. So Ricky's trying to side draft 18. 18's coming down to side draft to 24. Just a couple bad decisions there. Trying to, you got to be aggressive on the side draft, and that's what happens sometimes when there's 3 or 4 guys trying to do the same thing.
So what the 17's trying to do right there is he's trying to get as close to the left rear quarter panel of the 18 to slow him down, and he gets into him. He came up the racetrack so aggressively, I almost wonder if he got tight or something. Like,
maybe.
He can see that the 18 is right next to William Byron. The 18 can't go any lower. Watch what happens right here. So see how
the teammate to the 4 cars behind him.
Into the wall again. This time Eric Almirola caught up. The 00 of Joey Gase and the 34, who had a great run tonight, gets caught up in it. Michael McDowell.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson as well.
The 48 of Jimmy Johnson just got back on the lead lap. Not a lot of damage to the 48 though.
We're on your way, fellas.
And a wheel rolling down the racetrack.
That thing still has the hub and everything in it. Broke off from the axle, broke off from the housing, it looks like.
See the smoke on the right front of the 48.
Yeah, you see, that's where the wheel was on Eric's car.
Almirola
completely ripped it off of the housing. Wow. Jeez, must have been heavy contact to do that.
Michael McDowell trying to climb out of the 34.
I feel bad for Michael McDowell.
Wheel still going.
Michael McDowell had such a good night going, led some of this.
And now the flames from under the hood. What a great night Michael McDowell had up until that point.
Hey, they knew they were here. I can promise you that. He had a shot to win this race, showed he could run up front.
They'll put the fire out under the 34. They'll have to clean up these cars from the grass, which could take some time. I'd be surprised if they don't red flag this race.
See,
so the laps don't keep clipping off.
Moving his hand back and forth, like, not that he's hurt, but sometimes, you're holding that wheel and you just need to stretch your hand out a little bit. So here they are, 3 wide, 4 wide.
Yeah, the 4 wide just hooked him.
Yeah. Just not enough. This track it's just not wide enough for 4 wide. At Talladega, you can make it work. It's a little bit wider, but this racetrack is just not as wide as Talladega.
Here's another look at it. The double zero is already hooked. Turn down the corner. Joey Gase, he's just trying to gather it up. Nowhere for those guys to go.
And Jimmy Johnson's like, oh, I've seen this before.
That heavy impact with McDowell sandwiching Eric in the wall. Wow, what a hit. This shears that.
The wheel comes off, and then you see the 48 sliding down into the grass. The wheel actually comes back and hits the 10 and rolls over the top of it and then keeps going down the racetrack.
That hurts.
Look at this.
Yeah, I see the
wheel comes back, runs over the top of the 10 and keeps going.
Those hurt when you're the outside car. And
turn 4. Once they get the white flag, the next flag will call it the 14 around. Bowyer into the wall. The caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Some big impacts.
Bain caught up, as is Bubba Wallace. Brendan Gaughan also in this. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson, Trevor Bain. A lot of damage to Jimmy Johnson's car. Ross Chastain, major damage to the 15. Overtime rules. You have to get back to take the white flag for it to be a complete race. Otherwise, they'll try again. This time the caution came out just before Martin Truex Jr. got to the finish line. And we see Jimmy Johnson climbing out of the window.
Play, get an idea how this all started. There you see Clint Bowyer and Bubba Wallace. Clint's on the inside. Bubba's got a little tire rub there, but he's shoving and he just turns, pushing so hard. And Clint was moving around on the front bumper. And it hooked him into the wall. That's just real aggressive bunt drafting. Here's from the 43 roof, Cam. And he just turned him sideways there, hooked him bad.
Keep coming, keep coming.
That's just really aggressive pushing. Really aggressive bump drafting, which is what's going to happen at the end of these races.
1 laps to go. Want to peel off early if you're coming, and some of them are.
Boy, a bunch of them did, but not our leader.
Whoa! Car goes around in the trial. The spin sliding out of control. B.J. McLeod brings out the caution. Stenhouse has wrecked on pit road with Tyler Reddick. Another car is sitting littered in the grass. And we're under caution. That is the 52. That's Cody Ware.
I think Reddick got the left rear tire of Jimmy Johnson. Then Jimmy couldn't get in his pit stall.
That's one of the most difficult things in the world to do is running 200 miles an hour and try to get on pit road under green conditions.
Top, and there's Tyler Reddick. All of them in their first 500 start, and it's on.
Yeah, and I just wonder if McLeod was trying to get woed up. And I think Cody Ware had no idea he was coming to pit road.
And you're right, Jimmy Johnson did get collected in that. 3 drivers, Daytona 500 rookies get piled up here.
Yeah, again, Cody Ware just right on the rear bumper of the 51 of McLeod. It just got in the back of him and turned him into that group.
And everybody.
Good.
Oh,
no. Are you kidding me? This is big. Wow. But it.
Boy, it just reminds me of the class. Same type of carnage that we saw where these cars were going everywhere. A lot of damage as they all got to turn 3.
Well, that ruined everything.
I mean, sometimes I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
You know, there's just those feel-good stories that build in a race. And, boy, Matt DiBenedetto was doing such an amazing job.
Oh, man, I know he was.
So let's go to the Goodyear blimp as drivers climb out or try to make their way back to pit road. And look at the outside lane, DiBenedetto and Paul Menard.
Yeah, Paul Menard giving a pretty nice push down the back straightaway to DiBenedetto. Gets to his right rear. Oh, yeah, that just starts to turn him a little bit.
Got him in the right rear.
And then he collects Menard.
Yeah.
Logano just misses it, but the whole outside lane and half the inside pile up.
And this is exactly what we were just talking about. At this stage in the race, you can start to taste victory in the Daytona 500. You want to see that checkered flag, and you'll do anything to get it, and you know you've got to be more aggressive with those bump drafts.
It looks exactly like the Clash. I mean, all those cars, third turn, all those cars wadded up, sliding up the track with sparks flying. It looks so much like the Clash.
That is the 17th of February, looking way too much like the 4th of July.
Amen.
Fireworks everywhere.
Yeah, and it really and truly, it was Paul Menard. He gave to Benedetto a little shove, but it was on the outside, on the right side, and that just turned the Benedetto into the outside wall, and then it was on from there.
And a different situation than we saw in the clash between Menard and he almost turned the 34 McDowell.
Great save by McDowell. Now here we go. They wrecked again.
Larson and Stenhouse. You won't believe how Ryan Preece shot the gap and got through there. I can't believe it.
But you know what I can believe? They wrecked again. I can't believe that.
We'll have a great view of that, Mike, with that visor cam on Ryan Preece.
There's your leader.
Now
there's your second, third, fourth, fifth play, and that's all the cars.
This is the question now. Did McDowell get ahead of the 11?
Artie, don't you dare give me another shot of that full moon. I'm over it.
Oh, God.
From the Goodyear blimp.
We saw this, the last wreck that happened. The 22 and the 34 are bump drafting there. The 22 hooks them a little bit, but actually this wreck ended up happening because the 17 of Stenhouse dove to the middle. There really wasn't much of a hole there. Collects a 42 of Larson, the 4, knocks the 4
Kevin
of
Harvick,
Kevin
he goes
Harvick
up
to
the hill, hits the
infield.
wall, and here comes the 13, gets into the 2, spins him around. Holy smokes. I thought the truck race that night, they had 6 trucks or 7 that were running at the finish. I thought, I'd never seen anything like that until now.
Visor cam. Ryan Preece, this is the roof cam. Look at this.
Check up, check up, check up, check up, check up.
Woo!
Hey, that's some modified driving right there.
3 wide, 2 rows back, 3 rows back. Oh, Boyer gets turned.
Golly.
Looked to me like he came up just a little bit too early on McDowell.
Oh, my gosh.
And William Byron's luck runs out.
Get through that one.
What memo did we not get? I mean, this is crazy. Well.
And the Joe Gibbs Toyotas lead them across the line.
Might be a process of elimination here.
We're going to NASCAR overtime as William Byron gets set to climb out. Chase Elliott comes around. We will have a green flag, a white flag, and hopefully a checker. It'll be a 2-lap shootout to finish the Daytona 500.
Well, we're going to have
the cars remaining.
Yeah, we're going to have a checkered flag. I just don't know when.
Clint Boyer's radio.
You okay, man? Yeah, I went for it. Sorry.
There's Boyer.
Great move right here. Side drafts the 34 McDowell and 24. Gets them too wide. They stall out. Here's where he comes off that yellow line just a little bit too early. I don't know if the air on the right side brought him up or if he just decided to try to get up in front of him, but just a little bit too early in front of McDowell and the 34. Ooh, big hit.
Big hit.
Right there, 0-0. Landon Castle to the side door of William Byron.
Well, let's ride with Ryan Preece because you won't believe this, chapter 2.
He's coming there. Stay with that 14. He's rolling there. 3 wide, just 3 wide. Stay down, stay down. All right, you're good, you're good, you're good. Just stay.
Now somebody's got some luck on his side, or
Chase Elliott.
Skill.
3 wide. 2 wide. That's a 3. Oh, we're wrecking again. We had such a run.
For the stop, he thought it was.
He got into the wall. He got pushed into the wall, and now Brad Keselowski and others are sliding behind him. There goes the 38 of David Reagan making contact. Now they go into the infield grass as well.
Brad looked like he had a handful of race car off of turn 4. Looked like he was getting a little bit loose off turn 4 and having a hard time with that race car.
Daniel Hemrick, there you see the 8 of Hemrick making a left turn to go back to pit road. The 41 of Suarez also involved. A lot of damage to the 2 of Keselowski.
Let's see how all this started right here. Down. Oh, he gets a big push from the 4, and that just turned him. The 4 hit him pretty hard, and Brad just lost control of the car. Turned Brad into the outside wall really hard. Here's a great shot with Kevin Harvick. Oh man, it really isn't that hard of a hit. It looked like he was just trying to get Brad moving. Unreal that it doesn't take anything to get these cars out of control and out of the driver's hands.
Yeah, Harvick trying to push him to get him by that middle lane, and when he hit him, it just shot Brad up. Then it just all stacks up, and guess what? When you're all running a line together trying to help each other and something happens, guess what happens to all of you? You all get damaged.
Harvick's in the fence a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. Really impressive by Joey Logano and a lot of those guys behind them to get out of the gas and not create any more cars spinning and turning and crashing and obstacles.
To get to the apron, he does. Can he stay out of the line as the racing continues? Austin Dillon up front. They shifted him out.
Gonna be a big one.
And now around goes the 3 in front of the pack. They're all collected. The 11 with damage, the 22 as well.
Big right here.
Smoke rolling out of the cars that even cleared this incident. They shuffled out the 11 of Denny Hamlin, and then while trying to regroup,
Dillon changed lanes. He tries to make a move on the Toyota, loses momentum, blocks the 14. Now he's helping a Ford. I think he panics. What does he do? He goes back to the bottom, or does he block the 14? The 14 makes a move. The 3 blocks. You said it time and time again. Blocking causes accidents. This is an accident at the front of the field. Yeah, it looks like Clint Boyer's pushing the 3, but he moves to go inside, and that upset the 3 a little bit. Got the 3 a little bit loose, but the 3 headed on down the track to try to block anyways, to try to get down there and protect that line, protect that lead.
Let's go back and look at that first view, because I think that
Trouble.
Big wreck. Here's the big one. Man.
Well, there goes half the field.
Sure does.
And it's Ryan Newman leading them around. Oh,
Jimmy Johnson. Hopes in his final Daytona 500.
Kurt Busch, another former Daytona 500 winner. Brad Keselowski trying to win it for the first time, all torn up. Bubba Wallace, Eric Almirola, one of the fastest Fords in this entire field. And here's Martin Truex, who couldn't get back to the lead pack and gets all torn up. Smoke out the exhaust pipe.
That's not a tire problem for the 18 of Kyle Busch.
We are, of course, under caution with 15 to go. Watch the outside line here, Jeff.
You can see Joey Logano really aggressive to the rear bumper of the 10. He's going to push him all the way up to the 2. And they just, right before the 10 gets there, there's a little bit of movement. And that little bit of movement, when you make that much contact, turns your car right around. That's exactly what happened to Brad Keselowski and the 10 of Almirola.
And that happens right in front of most of the field.
And that really all started with a big push from Joey Logano. Remember Joey Logano talking on the radio earlier about, you got to tell me when I'm pushing that car and it's going to make contact with the car in front of us. Well, that happened right there with his teammate.
Here's our Ford onboard camera with Logano.
You could hear he started to lift, but unfortunately Almirola's car started sort of swaying back and forth right before he made contact with the 2. Hooks his bumper, turns him around.
Oh, he slammed Alex Bowman. And then it's on. And for the second time in less than a handful of years, Eric Almirola ends up being knocked out of a good chance to win the Daytona 500.
Textbook by Denny Hamlin. Can he put the block on? Oh, car. Oh, 77.
Big right behind you.
That was Ross Chastain, got down on the apron, turned him sideways up the racetrack.
Straight into Ryan Preece.
And we have involved.
Another multi-car pileup. With 2 to go, we'll go to overtime. There's the Connecticut Kids car.
Joey Logano.
Logano's got a flat left rear and trouble on the right front. Ty Dillon stuck in the grass, no rear deck lid or spoiler, and maybe a little current damage. Watch 77 right here.
Well, I knew those cars were going to stall out. You can see right there, Ryan Preece sort of pushes Chastain down onto the apron. As soon as it gets down the apron, he loses control. And heavy, heavy impact to the 22 of Logano from Chastain. Car goes sideways, he tries to correct. You know, those kinds of impacts for Logano, it might not look as big of an impact as what we see some of these other cars because of the damage, but when you get right into the driver's side door and then the passenger side door goes in the wall, those hurt.
That almost looks, Jeff, like the right rear went down with all time. Blaney to the outside, to the inside. Here comes Hamlin up the outside.
Wow.
Crash into the wall, into the air goes Newman.
Upside down.
In a shower of sparks on his roof, Ryan Newman comes across the line, 4th, and comes to rest. Scoring.
Ryan Blaney, which he does an excellent job of. Newman gets a pretty good run to the turn 4, but now here comes a huge run by Ryan Blaney being pushed by Denny Hamlin. He tries to go to the outside, then the inside. They lock bumpers and turns Ryan Newman around. Upside down he goes. Corey LaJoie coming along, making contact.
Yeah, just lifting Newman's car up and over. And it comes to rest on its roof. Here is the second closest finish in Daytona 500 history. Denny Hamlin the winner in both of them. This time it is Ryan Blaney.
Tyler Reddick out front. Now Tyler's going to try to block.
He's in the fence.
Up into the wall he goes. The 18 also in the wall. Eric Jones gets caught up in it as well. The big one does happen. The 47, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., McDowell. Austin Dillon caught up in this. That's Ryan Newman in the 6. Kurt Busch in the 1.
When Jones went to help, but he did. He goes up to block into that outside line. Some contact there with the 18, both of them in the fence.
Then behind him, the 24, the 48, the 21. I think all those 3 got by with no damage. The 24, we got to get another look at him and make sure he didn't get some damage on his right side. But you said it, Junior. Right here, Tyler Reddick, clear. Way too aggressive of a block. No way Kyle Busch could really do anything there. And then everything behind it just is complete chaos.
A huge hit by that 37 that gets turned back up the racetrack.
Comes to 22. Logano's going to take the lead away from Denny Hamlin. 2 laps to go.
Bubba Wallace on the outside.
Big run. Contact made again. Bubba Wallace sideways. Can he save it?
William Byron. They're wrecking.
Now the 22 goes around.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
The caution's going to come out now. Big wreck behind him. Bubba Wallace got through. Tyler Reddick hard hit. Jimmy Johnson caught up in the 48.
Yeah, big damage on Jimmy's car.
Could this be it for the 7-time champion? Not making the playoffs in his final year. It's going to go to over.
Turn 1. Let's take a look at it. Watch William Byron. So there's big contact right there with Bubba Wallace. Then William Byron through the middle. Even more contact with William Byron. I think that's where maybe the 22 car lost the right rear tire. Either that or just got turned around.
Yeah, once Joey gets up the racetrack, watch right here. There's contact all the way off turn 4, coming through the trial. Well, Joey makes a big move. Feeling like he's in really good shape right here. Bubba Wallace to the outside. The 11 is to the back of Joey Logano. That gets him into Bubba Wallace. William Byron makes it 4 wide. Now that's when they make the contact, cut the right rear tire. Matty D could not get slowed down, and that's how quickly things happen at Daytona. Just a point of the race where you can't lift. You cannot lift right there.
2001 Daytona 500.
That's like back in your era, Jeff.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Almirola Bowman.
Oh, the 24's on his side. Remember what I said, Clint, about 21 cars? I don't know if we got there, but man, that took out a lot of race cars and a lot of great race cars in there.
I know Eric Almirola was one of the front ones up front, so anytime that happens up front, you're going to take out a lot of them. There's Jamie McMurray.
All these cars stuck in that mud. We've had heavy rain down here overnight.
Tyler Reddick. That is a dozen of destruction.
When we talk about being aggressive, bump drafting, switching lanes here early on, only 14 laps into this 200-lap race. You can see the outside, 48, Alex Bowman doing a little side drafting to the right side of Eric Almirola.
And I see a gap in between Eric and the 20 car.
And look at the push coming from Kyle Busch to his teammate, Christopher Bell. Now that's going to get him to the rear bumper.
Big shot.
He just got over on that right side.
I could tell you another part of that equation, Jeff. These cars, they have skew in the rear ends. That's obviously for speed and make the cars go fast, make them pull up to other cars. It's also, in my experience, makes them squirrely. When that car hits him, it pushes that car into the steer of the rear end, and it can turn you in a heartbeat.
We're so reminiscent when Eric Almirola lost the lead in the closing yards of this race in 2018.
He was along for the ride. As soon as that contact hit, it just turned his car right. He took the words right out of my mouth. Unbelievable. Crushing blow to so many teams, so many efforts that it goes into having fast cars and being at this Daytona 500. That was a lot of heavy hitters in this one.
We're going to ride with Ryan Newman through this.
Well, look at that 24 car go up on the side on two wheels.
Will Dillon have help? No, they come down to block. Logano goes back up, Keselowski with him. McDowell in tow, Dillon on the bottom.
The run's on top.
Whoa!
Teammates.
Around they go in a hard crash. Kyle Busch.
Kyle Larson.
Caution is out.
Bubba Wallace is in this. Austin Cindric. Hard hit by Kyle Busch.
Caution's out.
McDowell is first to the line, but will have to go back to the moment of caution, which ends the race. Brad Keselowski is climbing out. He's okay. Joey Logano we see taking off the gloves and the steering wheel.
Trying to go up there and win the race.
The front five.
Oh, it's a big crash.
19, Mark Truex Jr. He got into the side of the 24. William Byron's in it. Landon Castle also collected up.
I was so concerned about the used tires. That actually happened in the back third. Oh, Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick.
Smoke out of the back of Tyler Reddick. Huge implications for the playoffs.
Look at the nose.
You got to imagine that smoke right there.
The smoke, it smells like oil smoke. I don't know. Do you want me to keep going?
Damage to the front.
Bring it to me, bring it to me.
Right rear from the 47 car, and that turns him into the outside wall hard. Collected William Byron.
Landon Castle was having a good night. He got into it.
Anthony Alfredo is involved, the 14. Also, Chase Briscoe got caught up.
There's the contact. Just so subtle of Reddick to get in the back of the 19 there. This is on the roof of the Stenhouse car.
11's coming to you tight. Clear bottom lane, clear bottom lane.
Something happened in front of them. Something happened in front of Truex. He checked up. Stenhouse didn't get checked up and got into the back of him.
Run for Chase Elliott. He goes up top to try to block. The 21 tries to go by the 9. They make contact. The 9 into the wall. The 9 slides the 21 into the wall. He collects them in a big crash happening.
There's so much blocking, so much shoving. It just can't last but so long.
A huge wreck.
And how many cars are left that aren't damaged?
With 3 laps to go, Chris Buescher is up front.
Denny trying to give Matt as much help as he can. And the 9 of Chase Elliott trying to keep Matt behind.
Who came out of that without damage? Ross Chastain, Corley Joy in third.
Austin Dillon in fourth.
Running second. A big shove coming from the middle. Daniel Suarez in the 99. He gets turned into the 4, and they go into the wall. The next flag will end the race.
By side, caution out.
And there is the caution flag. Ryan Blaney wins. The big accident happens behind him.
You're done, boys. Way to get it done. Good, we had.
Ryan Blaney had cleared the pack by 4 car lengths, and Burned will fill that 16th spot for the playoffs. But this is what happened on the backstretch.
Big run with Suarez, with Kurt Busch pushing him, and they just made contact. And
yeah, Suarez goes to the inside of the 4 car there to try to take that run that 1 car of Kurt Busch's gave him, and Kurt gets into the right rear quarter panel, turning the 99 into the 4. Kurt trying to get low with the 99, just not able to get there, not able to help him. Turns him into the 4, and away they go.
Or tight, depending on which side of the bumper Denny gets to. Told Denny to calm down just a little bit back there. Denny said he was just trying to learn for later.
Oh no! Big crash on the back straightaway takes out William Byron, Kyle Busch, and Harrison Burton. Oh crap.
Somebody was upside down. I don't know who it was.
Lap 63, caution number 3.
I would say it's that 21 car, it looks like, by looking at the roof.
Alex Bowman's in it. Somebody took a hard shot to the rear bumper that we saw on the onboard camera. Around it went. Ross Chastain involved. Now watch the 21 up high with Brad Keselowski behind.
He's flanked off that right-hand side.
Come off the corner, the car got light exactly like I was talking about. Man, it went over too. I was right. Dang it. A lot of good cars.
Denny Hamlin with a spin there, not sure how much damage. Kyle Busch, 24 of William Byron. They're both going to get swept up in this. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell gets into Burton. And that's a long slide on the asphalt into the safer barrier, hard for Byron. Exclusive prize from the Busch race team are winding down too. Here's more from an ARCA driver.
Hey NASCAR fans, I'm Amber Balkan.
Crash out of turn 4. 1 car got sideways into the wall, and half a dozen cars are in it, including Joey Logano. Tyler Reddick will be 2 of the casualties, in the left rear is down on Logano's car.
High-sided there.
Seems like these cars that get 2 flat tires on the same side get bottomed out on the suspension. They can't go anywhere.
Kurt Busch, Martin Truex also involved here at lap
backing
152.
up on pit road.
Jacques Villeneuve gets into the back of Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick, he was tank swapping in front of him way before Villeneuve got there. I don't know if it did because of contact right there, but man, right in Truex's lap. I think Kurt and Joey Logano are going to be okay.
Depends how much damage is on. There's the right side tires going down on Logano when he gets to that grass and bounces through it.
So Stenhouse left his dancing partner. He went down, chose to go down and blocked it.
Whoa! Around and into the fence goes Harvick, and it's a 7-car jam session.
Eric Jones is in it. Noah Gregson's in it. Dang it. Chase Elliott.
Gilliland all torn up. And Harvick outside of Keselowski there. And Bubba Wallace. Here comes Larson. Oh. Jammed up.
Larson had a huge run on the outside, and he was trying to slow that momentum down to get to him. But as he got to him, it kind of seemed like Kevin was having, the 17 was backing up to Kevin as well, and it just accordiated.
Yeah, the Harvick was having to slow down. Larson's got a huge run here, but
watch Kevin try to.
Kevin's got to run on the 17 at the same time, so Kevin has to check up here, and Kyle's got a ton of momentum.
Yeah, you saw Kevin kind of move to the outside, and Larson was trying to tee him up, square him up, so it was a good bump draft, and they both hit at an angle and spun him around.
And you could
Briscoe's out. He can't get to the
Austin Cindric, whose grandfather won the Indy 500 as a car owner. Cindric is going to bring them to the line way up high to block Ryan Blaney, and at the line, Cindric beats Bubba Wallace by half a car length, and they crash going into turn 1.
This race never disappoints.
No, it does not.
And David Reagan found one he couldn't miss.
Austin Cindric, the winner of the Daytona 500.
And Ryan goes the 11, the 20 also around. Ryan Blaney caught up in this in the 12.
Back here, they're wrecking.
Truex
Gather up if you can. Nothing's going to hit you here.
barely working his way through there.
Did Blaney get damage here?
Yes.
Yes.
Damage to the 12 of Ryan
That
Blaney.
steering wheel is 180 degrees.
Oh no, 180 degrees. That means,
guys, look at the right front corner.
Oh, that
it's
means
turned in and not rolling, Jeff.
Yeah, 180 degrees means the steering wheel is turned. The front tires are not aiming where they needed to aim. That means there's damage. How much damage, Steve? That's the question. Is this repairable? We won't know until he gets to pit road.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this wreck, though, and see how this damage occurred.
11 cars pushing the 43, just gets him loose. And then he gets very loose. Just chaos behind him. Guys trying to check up. And when you check up, you get ran into.
Second up, stay up high, go around it.
Truex drives all through this. Look at the 19 there on the right side of the screen. He works his way through all of this, I believe, without any issues.
Junior, he believes only flat spotting the tires, only tire damage on the 19.
Again.
Guys, as we saw them get rid of that Ford of Mike McDowell, the 210.
Here's the big wreck right
Middle
here. The
wreck in
34
here. Stay where you are. Stay where you are.
The 19's
Stay where you are.
Let's see if 19 gets any big damage right here so far. Doesn't look like any big hits. Oh, the right front.
Yeah, the right front fender torn off. And so the caution comes out with 59 laps to go. Martin Truex Jr. had fought to within 10 points. Ryan Blaney, who was involved in an accident earlier in the race.
He's wrecked with the right front off it at this point.
Either way,
you know this debate you just heard? This is what every crew chief and driver does in the field.
You heard Truex. He said it. We shouldn't have been up there.
Reddick just clipping the back bumper of McDowell, turns him into the outside wall.
It was Ross Chastain in the one that was right behind the 19. You'll see it right here as the C's kind of part and it becomes 3 wide.
Yeah, it's Daytona. It's that whole debate we just had, this whole wreck we just had it is Daytona. It's what the situation you get put into.
What a move. Oh, he can't get that push.
Oh, into the wall he goes. And they'll collect more cars behind. The 14 stays on the ground.
Brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
You can see it happening as he was coming around. Bubba Wallace with contact right there. Watch those guys go around turn 3 and 4. The 14's driving up the racetrack. He is sideways. He's loose. And he's lifting off the gas. The 48 is waiting right in the left rear quarter panel. It finally spins the 14 car out. We've seen that so many times today with guys drive up the racetrack because they're so loose they can't turn the wheel.
Briscoe out of the car. He had just made the move to get in front of the 22 of Logano, and this happened.
So the 41 dives in the middle of the back straightaway to take the lead. But look at him up the racetrack. He's loose, and he starts coming back down the track, right in the left rear quarter panel. Goes the 48. The 48 wants to push him, but he needs to push him in the right side. But the 14's driving up the track loose. And that offsets them the wrong way.
And that 14 car was working its way upside down. Let's take another look at this right here. Watch when this thing gets backwards. It turns around and it climbs a long ways off the ground before it comes back down. My goodness. That thing that's scary because, listen, tipping over is bad enough, but then flipping into the grass and into traffic, you know, we've seen other cars. This will be a great on.
Hamlin on the outside.
Haley on that outside line, top of 3. He's got some help with him.
Oh, into the wall they go. The 11 now also caught up in it. The whole Haley. The 3 of Austin Dillon squeezes through. He is in front. And look at virtually the only car to clear it.
Unbelievable. I've never seen racing that intense in Daytona. Ever.
And Martin Truex Jr. is going to gain some spots here. So many that won't be able to continue. The last caution, the 3 was
Rick. As
the
I look
3
out
pass,
the window,
and it's starting to rain.
It is raining
gosh.
right here. The heavy rain has moved over the grandstands. As we sat here looking out the window,
We are the leader.
It became clear. My goodness, Austin Dillon.
Oh my God.
There's his dad.
Oh my gosh.
We have to remember,
We're going to come over the leader now.
it's only 12:30 in the afternoon here at Daytona.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Rick.
But these cells have popped up with 22 laps to go. Richard Childress, team owner there.
RC. What a year it'd be if RC gets both cars in the playoffs after a year ago. The battle trying to get him in. Look at that radar.
Yeah, you see the weather cells that are starting to pop up now, and that's typical for this part of Florida.
I mean, there were, I'll tell you how it started, but it's like 4 or 5 things happening all at once. When we pick it up, you've got 2 or 3 cars sideways from multiple types of contact.
I was with you when we started there. I saw 2 cars sideways. I think we're going to try it a little bit earlier. Let's take a look from the 3 right here. I want to know how he gets through it because he's the only one on the apron.
Still 3 bottom. Rick, just stay bottom, keep coming, way bottom, easy, bottom.
Nice.
Good, keep coming.
Camera's pretty clear. Let's watch this right here. The 17 of Buescher trying to go into the middle there on the 31, on the 16. No, the 99 just loses it. Denny wrecks.
Well, the 31 just lost it too by himself in that top lane.
I wonder if it was rain.
Well, yeah, I mean, both leaders are in clean air. They both catch their car. That tells me that there's something down there that's reducing grip.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, guys, there were a lot of drivers saying, hey, it's raining. Why are we racing right now? And that could have been the result of what happened there.
Watch this 30.
A tough one for the 12 of Ryan Blaney and for the 45 of Tyler Reddick.
But where we need to watch is this 45 car and the 4 car on the outside. A little bit of gap here. Kevin closes in, contact with the 45. That's what also catches the 12.
And then it's on.
Yeah, it didn't take much. It looked like Tyler was having trouble holding on to it, and as soon as that 4 got back to his bumper in the corner, it just unfortunately turned him right into the 12.
Let's listen to Harvick here.
I just got it in the wrong spot of the corner there. I don't know if I actually even touched him, but just came out from underneath him.
And Byron, see if they're able to make quick time of them when they catch them.
Oh,
they're wrecking.
Big wreck.
That's a product of catching those cars. Everybody's on a little bit different.
A pileup in turn 1 with 18 laps to go. Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece, Martin Truex among those involved. Laps to go.
We'll see what happens here when they get to turn 1.
Link them all. So you can see the pipes and the 2 car. He was lifting hard, stacks them up behind them. McDowell gets in the back of Priest, turns him around, the rest is history. But I take it back to Gregson. You see that lap car that they were going around. Always movement like that creates them stacking up.
And Ryan Priest has driven to the garage. The Berlin, Connecticut driver had a great 500 going. And you'll see the accordion-like contact here in that upper lane. Just all piles together.
When you see that fireball come out of the pipes, that means they lift. That raw fuel is in the pipes all the way out of the gas, and it just so on and so forth. Stacked them all the way up through the field. Stacked up on the inside, not at all. Here comes Stenhouse. Big shove by Larson.
And around goes the 3. Crash in turn 3.
That fast. Unbelievable.
And that will decimate roughly half the remaining field.
We always say it, cautions breed cautions.
7th caution flag.
That is not at all what you wanted to see, RC.
Not sure how that started, except that Austin Dillon got turned.
They all got stacked up. He got into the back of Kyle Busch, had him sideways, jacked up. They had to lift.
Christopher Bell drops in, and Dillon may have got a shot from William Byron. Maybe not. Not sure from that angle, but up he went and down he came.
Dillon got in the back of Busch and had to check up. When he did, it stacked William and everybody up behind him. They turned him. Rest is history. That's just a product of it. It's go time. Green, white, checkered. You knew that was about to happen.
But aside from that, great move by Ricky Stenhouse.
Harrison Burton.
Larson tried to go to the middle. Oh, he got turned.
Larson Pastrana in the fence. We are still green. No, the caution is out. And we'll wait for official word on whether Ricky Stenhouse or Joey Logano has won the Daytona 500.
Bell filled that void, gives him a big shot. 5 gets turned around. Look, right there. He's in front of him and wins this great American race. Had the 5 stayed in front of him, the 5's going to be the one when I think back of this race, he's going to be coulda, woulda, shoulda. Oh, so close.
Stenhouse won here in July 2017.
The 10 car back in the back of the 67 car. And you got to do it. I mean, you know Travis doesn't have a lot of experience in these cars, but it's the last lap. You have to go for it.
Christopher Bell, the 20 car on the outside, Rick.
Yeah, the back end. Oh, into the wall hard goes Ryan Blaney off the nose of Ty Gibbs, and the big one happens behind him.
And it brought so many people into it. Look at all these cars. Good race cars, big impacts.
Yeah, only 6 cars have gone through already. Look at how many cars involved. Harrison Burton in the 21, who was leading earlier.
4. It's hard to tell right there that there's like a little bit of a kind of a move where the car looks like it's getting uncomfortable and out of control. Massive.
Huge hit.
Massive hit.
You saw that wall. That wall deflected, did a great job. But look at all the damage. That is a massive impact for Blaney.
Safer barrier has styrofoam behind the wall. And he hit it about as hard as we've seen someone hit a wall here. Have separated themselves. A big push coming now for Harvick.
Oh,
and around goes a couple cars. Priest upside down. He's barrel rolling through the grass. Ryan Priest upside down in the infield. Caution has come out. He's on his wheels. There was fire off the left side of the car. A huge barrel roll for Priest and the AMR safety crew there to him.
Going down the back straightaway, he makes a move or gets help from behind, and the car goes into the infield air. It just lifts right up off the ground. Violent wreck. It's a push from the 43 car, and it's airborne. I mean, I thought that maybe it hit, you know, the road course or some curbing or something on the road course. The kink lifted that car, but it was just traveling so fast.
It happened right when it got in the grass. As soon as it got in the grass, that's when it started to lift. And then this is just violent. I mean, look at this car. That is just amazing that something that weighs over 3,500 pounds can get in the air like that.
It looks like a toy car flying through the air. But as you mentioned, Jeff, 3,500 pounds. Such a violent accident for Ryan Preece. Thankfully lands on the wheels and then was able to climb out of that race car and will get checked out in the infield care center.
Decisions, Kevin. That spotter says clear up. You better be there.
Oh, crash! Two cars slam together, and Harrison Burton takes a wild ride through the grass and up into more traffic, gets tagged, turned around, and 5 cars are in it. Ryan Preece.
I think he missed that inside wall. Harrison Burton, big damage on the 21 car.
And Carson Hocevar, the rookie, gets taken out into that very, very wet grass in the ball field.
Conversation we're talking about, and we are also talking about John Hunter Nemechek kind of being iffy on his move.
Now the 42, John Hunter Nemechek, on the outside of Burton, the green and white car, and Brad Keselowski and he make contact.
Keselowski got to his rear bumper, just took a little bit of a love tap, turned him sideways, kind of looked to me like he was on the left corner of that bumper, turned him right down into Harrison Burton.
Well, and it's just what we were talking about, Clint, with everybody trying to feel out exactly what their cars were doing, and those guys in the middle didn't have anything to do with the handling. So, you know, you see Brad into the back. Oh, yeah, you're exactly right, Clint. The 42 car of John Hunter Nemechek just got up a little higher. Brad was probably trying to stay square and being pushed by the guy behind him, and they just got a little bit offset right there.
Gone on the outside. They can't get around.
Whoa! Keselowski gets turned by William Byron. Blaney gets caught up. Gilliland, Truex, Hamlin, and more.
All those Fords were struggling to get around Chastain. Who could get around and get that clean air track position first? That's what happened.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. I mean, it's a parking lot down there. Cars parked everywhere.
Blaney out. Big damage on him.
William Byron right here. Oh, we got.
Actually, all 3 of those.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good.
all 3 of those.
I'm glad you hit that.
And you see Alex Bowman up the racetrack, and then they start zigging and zagging here. And
well, obviously, William Byron and Bowman, that's where it ended up. But the movement from the 6 and the 22, jockeying for position, trying to outduel one another to that position of passing Chastain, that's what stacked all those guys up and got them in trouble. Those guys were going for it. Chastain was holding them up. You saw the 6 go to the bottom. You saw the 22 go to the outside. The race was on, and unfortunately those guys behind him.
This gives you a much better view right there. You see the 24 car just being pushed, and sometimes you're not aligned, and you know you're not lifting, and that car gets to moving around, and you hope it works out, and it just didn't work out right here.
We saw this same scenario playing out at the duels the other night when Blaney got in a wreck. You really can't pin it on anybody. It's hard racing, everybody going for it, but when those cars move in front of them, it slows the energy down.
Ross Chastain leading the outside lane.
1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, and away they go. That is Cindric into Chastain and up into traffic.
Did they complete that lap?
Did the leader get the white flag?
This
Caution
could be
waving.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
I don't know if he got it out in time.
I believe they saw the white flag.
I think it's William Byron.
I think so too.
What a win would do for him tonight. Incredible. And he fits into that category. Oh, and here we go. Chastain's involved. Noah Gragson, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson.
Such a calm point in the race. It was too wide or single file, and all of a sudden chaos.
We're still rolling. We're still rolling, but we got damage. Bring it right.
Look at Noah Gragson. Bowman's involved. Truex gets going again. Ty Gibbs in the 54.
Just immediately shot to the left. Here you go. Being a big pushback from Corey right here. Shoves him to the left. He has to correct it. Then he comes back across the racetrack in front of Corey. And that's what we talked about earlier. You can push and you can shove, but when you don't do it correctly and you get it wrong just by a little bit, you mistime it, this is what happens.
Here, 8 laps coming up.
Oh, they got together at 3.
Whoa! McDowell goes up high. Larson is in it. Reddick's in it. Logano, Wallace, Haley.
That all started in turn 3. Cindric tried to lift to prevent it from happening, but he did not lift quick enough.
It's the second big one of the night.
A push from Barry. Tries to get to the outside, lifts right there, and still contact. And then, look at this.
Whoa. And Michael McDowell, who knows what it's like to have a massive crash at a high-speed track, got away with that one.
See the fire come out of the pipes of the 2 car? He was being pushed by the 4. He knew he had too much speed. He was doing all he could to prevent it, but it just could not get it slowed down. See the addition wide. Whoa!
Whoa! Barry's gone, and he goes up and over. Huge hit for Josh Berry. Eric Jones is involved. There's Austin Cindric.
A scary wreck. Watch this car, how quickly, when it gets spun, contact. The 2 is getting pushed, and as soon as that car was pushing him, got turned around and went. This is what scared me, because Josh is hanging on his belts. He's not in his seat. He's hanging on his belt and has that frontal impact.
Everything that went right for the 34 to set his car back on the wheels didn't go right for Josh Berry, and I'm with you, Jeff. The flip is the first concern, but then the hit into the wall when gravity is pulling you out of the seat is just different. Multi-point harness is trying to hold your hips and your lower body tight into that seat. But as you run all day, the heat, the sweat, everything kind of loosens up a little bit. You have to keep tugging on those belts. It was so great for Josh to get out.
And again, that speaks to the structural integrity. Here's the view from Austin Dillon. Oh. Massive hit with Gilliland.
Austin thought he was going to miss it, and then Gilliland came from nowhere. See, here's the push from behind, and then it moved the 2 car up. And again, pushing gone wrong.